Now, this is the second video for the chapter 5 functions. The next topic is the categories of the functions. There are basically four categories of the functions: the function with no argument and no return value. We are not giving any parameter and the function is not returning any value. The second category is the function with no argument and return value. Here we are not giving any parameter as an argument in the function, and the function return with some value. The third category is the function for with argument and no return value. That means we are giving a parameter or the variables to the function and function is not returning any value. And the fourth category is the function with argument and return value. That means we are giving some parameters as argument in the function and function should return some value. Now we seen each of these particular categories of the function practically. For that I am using the particular online compiler. You can use any compiler. There are many compilers available. You can simply search on the Google about these particularly for the online compilers that are available. Here I am using the online GDB compiler for the compilation of my C programs. When you open the online gdb.com, that basically looking like this. Here is a green button that is for the run. When I am clicking on that particular run, it shows me the output over here. That is the very basic simple program hello world that is run in that particular online compiler. Now we starting with a basic function demo that is known as demo of function. The first line code is already known to you, hash include stdio.h. Now here I am using the I'm making the function that is called as display. So here this part void display is my function declaration, is the first element in the function. Here my return type is void, that means function should not return any value. So that is the function declaration. Now in the main, here I wrote display round bracket open and close, that is the function calling. Here is the function declaration and here is the function calling. And after the main, here I am defining the function, that is the function definition. Here the in function definition there are two parts. That is, for the first one is the that defining the first line, that is the void, and display, that is the same like the declaration. In curly bracket we are using the printf that prints some value, that is demo of function program, and here we are not returning any value to their particular function. Now I run that program, it gives me the output demo of function program. Now we are continuing with our first type, that is the function with no argument and no return value. That means function has no argument and function does not return any value. So here I declared the function return type is void because here there is a no return value. So void, and my function name is sum round bracket open close and semicolon, that is the function declaration, that is the first element. Now from the main function I call the function sum round bracket open close and semicolon, so that is the second element, that is function calling. Now we are defining the sum function. Here is a return type void sum, here is a no argument, so function has none parameter. Now in that particular thing I initialize two variable a and b. Summation of a and b is stored in C, and simply I print the value of sum in the sum function. Now I run that program and it gives me the output sum equals to 9. Here I am using the online compiler. It shows me the warning return type default is integer in line number 7, because here in the main function it uses the compiler. Based on that compiler I have to return int over here, but all my programs are run in the Ubuntu, so basically my code is looking like without int main, so it is not an error, it's only a warning. So the answer of this summation is 9. So that is with the first category. Now we are moving forward for the second category, the function with no argument and with return value. So first I declared the function with the type of integer, because here there is a return value. So integer, and my function name is sum, round bracket open close and semicolon, because here is no argument, so I am not giving any parameter to the sum function. Now from the main I am calling the function sum. Here that should be a return value. So if the function returns some value, I have to store that value in another variable in the main function. So over here I am using the c equals to sum, round bracket open close and semicolon. So that is the second part of, or a second element of our function, and from that the pointer moves towards this function. Now in the function definition I take two variable stored in the that calculation is stored in the x. I am returning some value x. Now that x is transferred to the, or replaced with the sum function, so x is stored into c and the value of c is printed over here. Now I run that particular program, it gives me sum equals to 9. Now the third category, that is function with argument and no return value. Here is a no return value, that means I have to use void, and my same function name is sum. Here is with argument, so I am passing two arguments that both are type of integer, so int comma int, and last one is semicolon. So my function declaration part is over. Now in the main I take two variable a and b. The value of a and b is already given. Now I call the function sum, that is a comma b, both the value are given over here. Now when I am calling the function, that pointer is moves to the definition of the function. Function definition is ditto like the function declaration, but over here I am using two variable name. Okay, so in that I take the another variable, store the summation into z and print the value of z. Now I run that program and it gives me sum equals to 9. So that is the example of with argument and no return value. And final and the fourth category, that is the function with argument and with return value. That means return value. So here I am using the return type, that is integer, function name is sum. Two parameters are that because it's with argument int comma int semicolon, function declaration is over. Here initialization of the variable is done, then after calling the function it returns the value, so I have to store that calling function value into c and print over here. When I call that particular function, a pointer goes to the function definition. Over here the a is transferred to the x, b is transferred to the y. Now that stored answer is stored in the z is written, then pointer comes over here, z is stored in c and the value of c is printed. Again I run the code, and it gives me sum equals to 9.